Celest is a new backend runtime that supports Flutter. At the moment, it only supports Cloud Functions, exactly like Google Cloud Functions, but at some point, it's gonna support many other features and functionalities, such as authentication, storage, and all the classical things that you would expect from a backend service. Um, the nice thing about Celeste is the fact that it is based completely on Dart, meaning that you can develop your backend with the same language that you develop in which you develop your app, and this of course comes as a convenience because for instance you know exactly what type to expect when developing in Flutter. So your front end knows what type your Cloud Functions will return, which is a very nice thing. You can reuse classes, models, and so on and so functions, of course, utilities, and this, of course, it's very nice. Like everyone can that like is developing on Flutter and another framework for the backend has found himself frequently dealing with different like with duplicating code. So Celeste comes in handy on that. I've never tried Celeste, so I don't know exactly how that works. And we are gonna figure that out together right now. So let's go directly to a getting started guide. So we need to install Flutter. We have that already. Create a new Flutter project. It's not going to be an issue. And download and install Celest CLI. Okay. So what am I going to do right now is I'm going to pop up a terminal window. I'm going to move it here. And I'm going to navigate to the desktop folder. Yeah, this keyboard is new to me. This was a mistake. Perfect. And then we're gonna go like Flutter, create Celeste sample app. Great. So this will be creating our Celeste Flutter app. And okay, I could try to actually move this into the center for our TikTok friends. So we have our Celeste app. At this point, I'm gonna open that up with Android Studio. So let me see what happens if I open with Android Studio. Beautiful. I'm gonna open. It's gonna be on the desktop. Celeste sample app, which I made a typo in calling it. Okay, so this is our brand new app, and we are now gonna add here the functionalities that we need in order to be able to test. So this is our main. Of course, we want to. No, we don't want full screen. Okay, this is our the base app. Let's proceed now with installing Celest CLI. So we are on Apple Silicon. So we make this download. I'm gonna move it here. Let's install. Okay. Let me move that somewhere else. Perfect. Installation is going. Close, move to trash. Okay, so we have installed the CLI. Let's see, so we need to create the app, etc. Okay, so we need to start Celeste inside of our project. Okay, enter a name for your Celeste project. Yeah, we can keep it like, I don't know, Celeste test backend. No, not typing the right spot. Celeste service test. Beautiful. Okay, Celeste is running and watching for updates. So that's great. So there's nothing else that we basically need to do. At the same time, it could be convenient to open up a simulator, like such as an iOS simulator. So we are also gonna have that. So after that, once Celeste start is done, okay. Okay, so something has happened in the code. Yeah, so we have it here. Celeste lib source functions. Okay, client exceptions functions greeting. Okay, so we have this greeting function that I assume is gonna happen on backend. Some configurations. Okay, it's empty at the moment. Fantastic. Like no need for it to be full of anything. So by convention, any custom types used within an API request response must be defined in this file or exported from this file. So we need to define models and then export them here. Okay. By convention, any custom exception types. Okay. And here is the client. Celeste function init. Okay. So I believe that our like the functions that I will be creating needs to be created into this folder called functions, and here is just for models and common code. I don't know, but let's start by making a test, like an example. So let's say my class. And my class, and it's gonna be final string whatever, and of course we are gonna build a named constructor for that. Now if I am in my main file, so let's remove everything here, we really don't need that, and then we can also replace beautiful. So we want to remove all the comments, so it's like that, replace all, save to format, and here we're gonna go with a size box for the time being. Okay, let's say that here I want to instantiate like my object is equals to my class. Wow. Okay, so everything is already connected. Meaning that we already have access to this class that, okay, it's complaining because it's a constant constructor. We already have access to this class that was defined in this Celeste folder. So I assume that they modified our dependency. Yeah, here we go. So when we did Celeste init, it also added this dependency into our pubspec.yaml file, and that's interesting. And this also means that I mean the process was well thought. Okay, so we have access to this class. We can jump to the definition, and it's gonna be inside of models. That's great. So everything is working as expected. Let's start to see, so let's open up the emulator. Emulator is here. What is it? Here, the simulator, and let's run this app. That for now is not gonna do anything. Let's fix a little bit the main file. So where is it? Main. So at the moment it's a Flutter app. Okay, so we can replace that and put like a scaffold, and in the scaffold we can put an app bar, which is going to be a type app bar. It's going to have a title which is test app whatever. Title is always, I always forget that, is a text widget. Great. And here we really don't need the comma, but we do need it here. This is going to be a constant value. And then this scaffold is going to have a body, which, let's see what it can be as a body. Let's say it's going to be a future builder. So let's put it a sites box. And then let's write this sites box with a builder, and then transform that in a future builder. and then put it here an async snapshot, right? That's gonna take a property of future, but future should really go, I think, at the beginning of it, right? And the future for that is going to be, so what I want to do, like, let's think a little bit, 1 second, what I would like to test, what's going to be the test about. I would like to try to make a call to a Celest function and get an object returned from it. And let's see how that goes. Let's see, I mean, what is the, let's say, the infrastructure? Like, are we forced to return like status code, like when we make HTTP calls, or is it a little bit different? I'm very curious about that. Let's try it out. So, what are we gonna do here is that, so let's go back to our Celest function. So we have this greeting function, right? Let's create a new function, which is just gonna be a future, and it's gonna return an integer maybe, and we can do something like return, no, like get random number from server. So we're gonna get a random number from the server, and that's gonna be an async method. It's gonna be async because we are gonna like make it async, like we're gonna force that. So we're gonna have a future dot wait, and we are gonna wait a certain time of duration dot, I don't know, seconds, 2 seconds, why not? And then we are also gonna have here nothing. We're just gonna wait that. Future dot no, it's not future dot wait, it's future dot sleep. How is it? Future dot delay, delayed. Perfect. So future dot delayed. So this is basically gonna just wait 2 seconds, basically nothing fancy at all. And then here we are gonna return random. So we're gonna do return random, and then next int up to a maximum of 2000. So that's what our function is gonna return. Get random number from server. So now let's try here to see if it's as easy as that. So I'm gonna go main, and I'm gonna put, so let's see first of all if anything has built. No, not yet. Why is that? Nah, it's stupid, I guess. iPhone 15 Pro, just build that, bro. Sometimes it can be a little bit slow, but in this case it should really be fast. Mario, come ti chiami su Twitch? Mi chiamo Coding Mario. There is also some on Twitch I'm streaming, like on TikTok I'm streaming as well, and on TikTok I have an Italian account, so sometimes I have questions there in Italian. So yeah, it's nice. Okay, it's taking quite some time to build, but we can move ahead. So what I want to do here is try to make this call inside of this app, this little app that we are building, directly, like without making explicit HTTP calls. So let's see how that goes. Hi, man. Okay, so a TikTok spectator joined here. That's so nice. Let's greet him properly. Let's send a little heart. Yes. Okay. So the simulator is still not built, but that doesn't matter for us. We can move ahead for the time being. Okay, so Celeste is throwing some error right now. No. I think, okay, this was the error from before. Okay, that now everything is all right. Beautiful. Simulator is running. Okay, so this is our test app. Perfect. In this test app, let's add a button. So to add a button, that's going to be a floating action button of type floating action button. And the floating action button takes necessarily onPressed, but we are also going to give a child, which is going to be icon of type icons. And it's going to be, I don't know, something that looks like refresh. Beautiful. So we have our little refresh button down here. Beautiful. At the moment, it doesn't do anything. What this button I want that it does. So we're going to convert that into a stateful widget. So what I want to do is that every time I click this button, a new random number from the server is generated and sent to us. Okay. So, so how are we going to achieve that? We are going to, let me think about it. So we don't really need, okay, let me change a couple of stuff. So we don't need a feature builder here. For now, it's enough like a column widget. And we're going to address that in a second. Then we are going to have a stateful variable, and then we are going to put here int remote number, which at the beginning, no, which is going to be nullable, a nullable property. Like at the beginning, it's just null, is nothing. Then we are going to create here a method, which is going to be, no, we are not going to create here any method. Inside of here, we're going to say final new number from server, new number from server, and it's gonna be our get random number from server function. Does it work? No. Specify for type. So we are not finding this function here. But say, am I finding this function? So at the moment, my problem is that I'm not being able to access the functions defined in Celeste. Let's go to client. I mean, we can read a little bit more documentation. What the hell? So to be able to call this function, say hello. I need to do this, you see? Okay, that's great. I was jumping on too quickly. You always have to, you really always have to read like docs properly. So we also have an Italian follower here on Twitch is saying, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it so much. That's very, very nice words. Congrats for the path you're taking. Man, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thanks. And you also started in Flutter. That's great. Okay, that's great, man. Congrats. How is it going? Like, let me know if you want, of course, in the comments. Like, how is your journey on Flutter going? If I can provide any suggestion, I'd be happy to help. 100%. But that's great. I love Flutter. I think it's so good. Okay, so let's import Celeste here. Perfect. Import was sweet. And then here we can do, let's see if we are going to find our function, which is random. How's it called? Just give me 1 second. So let's say if we can find say hello. No. Why can't we find? Okay, now we found. So get random number from server. Boom, we found. So here now I expect that I'm gonna get a random number from the server, and then what we are gonna do is that we are gonna update the value of remote number. So we are gonna say set state. As you know, set state is a very basic let's say state management technique for Flutter. It's not even, we cannot even call that properly, but yeah, so for this very simple app it's gonna work. Remote numbers equal new number from server. Beautiful. So now what I wanna do is that I want to display here this number, so that's gonna be very clear what's happening. So no, we don't need that. So we need children's, and then we need a main axis alignment of type main axis alignment.center. So we want our elements to be centered. And then we are going to have a text widget, text, and it's going to be random number from server. Beautiful. And then we are going to have here a value, which is going to be remote number, which is going to be remote number, but of course it complains because it can be a null value, right? That's very normal. So first of all, we want to do toString. Then we want to access it in a safe way. And then if it's null, we are just going to put some like press the button to fetch a value. Press the button. Let's keep it short. Beautiful. Let's look at how it's looking. Okay, it's looking very bad. Let's improve it just a little bit. Center. Great. Let's make this text way bigger. Text style. Text style as a no color, as a font size of, let's say, 24, and a font weight of weight dot bold. Yeah, why not? Beautiful. And then we are gonna copy this property. We're gonna bring it here. The font here is gonna be 16, and this is gonna be the color. Maybe it's gonna be colors.red. No, red is awful. Let's say purple. Yeah, no, let's go blue. And no, it's not gonna be bold. It's not gonna be blue. Beautiful. Let's make the test a bit bigger. Okay, let's see how that works. So what we expect before running any code is like always good. It's always a good practice to think what we expect. Otherwise, it's like coding in the dark, you know, like you just try out stuff without understanding. So let's formulate what we expect. I expect that this button is going to be pressed. Then this function is going to be called get random number from server here. Okay, and then this 2 seconds delay is gonna happen, and then we are gonna return an actual random number. So, and then this random number is gonna put here in blue. Let's try. Zan zan. Yes, here we go. So it arrived. So there is the 2 seconds wait. Let's try again. So let's make this number way bigger. Why did I do that so small? Who cares? 24. Let's make 30. Who cares? So let's refresh. So 2 seconds, and then we get a new number. So it's working as expected. Setting up was crazy easy. Like, this is something I really want to say. Like, generally when you generally wanna start up with cloud functions, for instance, from Google or AWS Lambda or other services for having serverless infrastructure, it always is so complex. Like, you know, the starting up, it takes, I don't know, 1-2 hours. And we really did set up this with zero experience in 10, not even 10 minutes probably. So, I mean, this Celeste really looks great. Fantastic. Let's inspect a little bit more the code. So one thing that I noticed, let me go back here on Arc. Beautiful. So one thing that I did notice is that when we click on this function, get random number from server, we go to this file, which is not the file that we wrote, right? We wrote this super simple function, but we end up on this function here, which is, it's generated. This is generated code. Yeah, indeed. You see, generated by Celeste. This file should not be modified manually, but it can be checked into version control. Okay. So let's see under the hood what is happening here, because you see, one thing that I was very happy about is that Celeste is saving us, so to speak, from having to interact with status code and HTTP kind of stuff. And yeah, that is so because it is happening for us under the hood, so to speak. Let's see what happens. So it does make an HTTP client post request. And I have my cat here. Just give me 1 second. My little cat. Let's show it in the camera actually to make it more real. Yes, beautiful. Okay, this is the beauty of being live. I mean, I have probably 3 spectators in total, so it's fine. But I mean, it was fun. Okay, now we said that, and so it makes a request. and then parses the body. The body, it has an error by default, a code of course, and then details, which I think it's the response. And bad request, internalize, which... I want to see where... okay, so if the status code is 200, so if this request is successful, then what happens is that it's going to take the response as a number and it's going to convert it to integer. It's a num. Num, I think it's a type from JavaScript, right? What is it? Because we don't have num in Dart, right? Integer floating point num, it is compiled time error for any type other than int or tuple. I know it's part of Dart. I've never ever read that. But so yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. 28 minutes and a lot of interruptions. Like we did it. It was really pretty simple and also straightforward. I'm gonna save this video and put it on YouTube because whatever. And it was very very nice to test Celeste, and I really wish the developers, which are these two very nice guys here, a lot of best of luck, because this company also, this is the interesting part, is also backed by Y Combinator, which is great. Means that like they are part of an ecosystem of startups that is really gonna help them grow. So best of luck to these two guys. Yeah, that's great. It's nice streaming, although not for much time. It was interesting. So yeah, we can shut this down. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Okay. Oh yes.